Oh.
It's going to be 20 now.
Gillian was just let you know, Gillian was far better at this than what you were.
15.
Much clearer, much that, yeah.
He actually said she was the best floor manager he'd ever had.
10,
Took a vote.
9, 8,
We're going to do this.
7, 6,
Oh,
do
look,
this.
5,
he's got a sneaky stat pack.
4,
Awful.
Please.
3,
Stashed in the side.
2, 1.
Good evening, everybody. We're at Rugby Park tonight, or close to Rugby Park. We're in the Winnebago, just outside ahead of Kilmarnock against Hearts tonight, live in the Scottish Premiership. What, is he doing something already?
He's got a stats pack and all the signings there. As if he's done his research and
It's
he's
called
reading it.
prepping, Daryl.
Oh,
It's not. It's called.
Something which you don't do regularly, Daryl.
well, I think that's unfair, isn't it, Craigs?
Yeah.
Get that sort
I
of
think it's
prep
called
today.
reading.
Did you print it off? Did someone do it for you?
Don't know, yes, probably.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Silence.
Well, I don't know.
It's like when Scott Brown was asked to be at Rod Peach's house. Don't know.
I think
What are you saying?
I think his staff did it for him, Michael. Staff did it for him. Chris Sutton, Stephen Craig and Michael Stewart. We're actually live on Facebook at the moment, by the way.
Oh, okay.
This is real. This is happening. Are you going to be fair tonight?
Am I not fair? Daryl?
Just asking.
Well, what do you mean?
T-
Well, that would insinuate
take-
I'm not fair.
Take the element of doubt out for anyone that might wonder.
Am I not fair?
I think you're very fair.
Okay. Well,
You're gonna be
you've
fair
answered
tonight?
your own
You're
question.
going to be fair tonight?
Well, it's a silly question to ask if you think I'm fair.
He's got on his Hearts jumper.
You have. Got the colours on.
Oh, well, it's nice. Nice colour.
A lovely dumper.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anything on your mind this week?
No.
Good.
Like
There's
to
a
try
lot
and
of
keep a
questions
clear mind.
aimed at Michael, Daryl. What are you getting at?
It's good to see him back on the show tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Just thought, we should.
Where's Ali
talking
tonight?
points? Well,
Although he's never on Facebook, is he?
doesn't do Facebook Live. Ali? No, it doesn't do Twitter either. I think he's
You do now, certainly.
I'm on Twitter.
You love Twitter.
That's your fault.
You
That's
love
your
Twitter, Daryl, don't you?
Who are your sources? That's what I want to know, Daryl.
You? I've just
Now I know why
I've just outed my Celtic source.
Now we know why you talk so much. Yeah.
I say things he can't.
Yeah, you just answered your own question.
Very good.
Michael's by Hearts source. You're a good Motherwell
I
source.
honestly
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I've given you anything about Hearts, Daryl.
Oh, you're right, because they don't,
Fake news.
they
Fake
don't
news.
give you anything.
Fake news, Daryl.
It is a
That's
reason.
why. That is a reason.
Well, that would just be stenography, wouldn't it, really?
It would be a big
Yeah,
word.
see, I don't do that.
Big word. Anyway, get your questions in. I think we've just used up half of our time. JD, let's have the phone over. Chris, what are you most looking forward to about tonight's game?
Well, can Killie keep pushing? They're up there. They've brought players in the window. Interesting that Malumbu, Celtic have let them have Malumbu, and Killie are in the race. You have to say that. I didn't think that they would have the strength in depth to really press for the title, but they've brought a couple of forwards in as well. So
I
yeah,
think it was a really good sign. I spoke to Chris Boyd last week and I said to him, I was like, surely the manager will be looking to get him back in. He didn't think it would happen, but when you think about it from Celtic's perspective, it makes a lot of sense because he can't play against Celtic, obviously, and
Can play against everyone
he
else,
can
all
play
the other
against everyone
rivals.
else. Yeah. So the argument would then be like Chris was making out, though, you're strengthening somebody that could effectively challenge for the title, but they will take points off all the others. So you're taking a bit of a punt, you're taking a bit of a gamble, but
They've done the same with Aberdeen
yeah,
the last few seasons.
I think that I think it's a good signing for Kilmarnock.
But does it make you think, why did he sign him in the first place? You know, within
It
a
looks
matter
like
of
a
months,
mistake.
within a couple of games, he shipped him out again. That would tell me that he it's a mistake he's made.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have brought him in the first place. And I think actually putting him to Kilmarnock tells me, and I'm probably the opposite of Michael, I think he's writing Kilmarnock off. He can go and play for Kilmarnock if he wants because he's not going to affect us. That's what I think.
Interesting, Stephen. Lots of questions coming in because of
So
the
we're
transfer
gonna read
window
one
the
out.
last few days. Well, if I get a chance,
Yeah.
you want to read them?
No, we'll carry on.
Reading and you, that would be
The main
difficult.
man, Daryl.
What's your thoughts on Celtic's transfer business, Chris? That's from Paul McLean.
Yeah, good question, Paul. They've gone a lot of short-term loans. The loans, aren't they?
What does that tell you?
Well, it means they're not looking long-term, Daryl, doesn't it? If they've gone down their route. I said a few times on here, I feel sorry for the Scottish clubs in terms of the transfer market, in that they just can't compete. So Celtic have gone a different way to Rangers. I think Aberdeen have had a good window, and I say that. I really admire Aberdeen's stance on Scott McKenna, and offered big
What's
money
he
for
worth?
him. Well, when you see some of the rubbish down south moving in the Championship for big fees,
Can you name any names there?
I was thinking the same question.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
No, I mean, you look over
No, no,
the years.
but-
Historical haven't done that for us.
Historically,
generally,
over
I'm-
the-
Moustache not give you the ins and outs in England.
Give me, the boy Flint went from Bristol City to
Yeah,
Middlesbrough
right, for a huge
for
amount of money.
£8 million. So why shouldn't Aberdeen be demanding that? And I think he was 28,
What's-
29 years.
What's he worth?
What's he worth?
What would they sell for, do you think?
Well, I think 8 million was the figure Aberdeen were holding out for 8 million, and quite rightly so, because players over the years in Scotland have been going on the cheap.
Absolutely.
Do you think if they got 8 million offered in this window, they would take it?
Yes.
Actually, I don't think so. I genuinely think that. I think the figure 8-9 million is probably about what Aberdeen would take, but I think they would not sell in January. I think they would be looking at the summer and thinking, if we get 8-9 million offered now, we'll get it in the summer. And the difficulty is, especially, I think it was very similar in the summer window when there was a bid came in for Scott McKenna. It was
Villa.
late in the window,
Yeah.
late in that window, and it's like can't replace him. I think it would be the summer that they would look to do it, and I don't think, unless it was crazy money, like 15
I think
million.
Derek
whatever.
would think that way. But
Uh-huh.
you just wonder if the people above him, the business people, would
Yeah.
think, do you know what? This
And
is an incredible amount of
And
money
there's
we
a
can get
stadium
back in.
ahead.
Yeah, but I think
It's a chunk of it.
Yeah, but I think the strength of Derek's position at the club is that he would be able to get the rest of the team, the board, to come round to his way of thinking, and that you get offered that in January, you'll get it in the summer, and rather than debilitate the team now, and you can't replace him.
There's always a price, though, isn't there? In Scotland, we have to be realistic.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the difference now, because clubs are in a healthy financial position. They don't need that now. It's not like we need that money now.
But it is a bit of a game changer, isn't it, if Aberdeen get that money? But having said that, Aberdeen are still in this race, so what
Absolutely.
it's a good
Just
start.
a few-
Hence
still
why
in
you
Scottish Cup as
hence
well,
why
so.
you don't sell in January.
Yeah. Just a follow-up question really from Kieran Laverty. He says, do you believe that Celtic have made a big mistake not bringing in permanent signings in order for them to be ready for the Champions League qualifiers?
I think it's an interesting question. What worries me is they're going to lose both the centre halves, or it looks that way, that Boyata's not going to stay.
Well,
Benkovic, albeit he's out.
Jan's
pretty
only a
not
short
yet.
loan.
And Tierney needs to come back. So Celtic have got a lot of work to do in the summer, and I can understand why Celtic fans are worried about that. That they're absolutely right. You would think that the logical thing to do would be, and this has happened for years though, bring someone in January, bed them in, and then they'll fit in seamlessly if Celtic are
But
in
I
the
think the
Champions
issue
League
with that is that
campaign.
Celtic already have probably five centre halves. If you go and bring another two in, for, which is more money out, it means then you've 7 centre halves potentially.
Are they
then
good
you're
enough?
thinking,
Yeah, well,
The depth.
and that's the point,
You know,
isn't it? Is
are they gonna be good enough?
Is
It's the
Boyata,
money.
Benkovic are the first pairing?
Yeah,
Aye.
so they wouldn't
So-
really play. So that
Well.
wouldn't fit. So that it's a conundrum they're caught with.
Just talked about McKenna and the value. Cameron Henderson says, fantastic business for Hearts to get John Souttar tied up in a new deal. How much would he be worth now?
Well, it comes back to a case of the value of somebody's however much another club's willing to pay. I think it's a great bit of business for Hearts though to get. John Souttar signed up. He's a Scottish internationalist. He's a youngster who's improved immensely over the last 18 months, 2 years. And also, Christoph signed up for another 2 years, although he's at the other end of his career, coming towards the end. But he gives that continuity for the club. But John Souttar, that's a great bit of business. How much is he worth? It's whoever anybody's willing to pay.
I'll tell you the big thing. They will have to sell him within this next 2.5 years, because he will suddenly be a Bosman at the end of his contract.
Yeah.
So that extra year's protection, I think, is just protecting their asset. I imagine he will move within the next 18 months.
And what kind of figure would you put on him?
Scottish
That's a
international.
big shout.
Let's excite the fans.
What's that?
It's a big shout.
What?
Well, 18 months. That's you would expect that.
No, but they would have to say, but what I'm saying, that extra year has guaranteed
Yeah.
them a decent return on their
Yeah.
money, on their
Yeah.
investment.
Mhm.
If he didn't sign a new contract, they'd maybe have to sell him this summer.
Yes.
So they bought themselves another year just for him to improve, for him
signs
to get
again?
better. The what, sorry?
What if he signs again?
Well, he might, but what I'm saying is if he keeps up his form and stays a Scottish international, his value will go up and he will then
What would
suddenly
you
have a more
value him at?
attractive.
Give us a number.
I would think
questions earlier.
between
You
5
think
and
we can have
7
an
million.
answer?
Between 5 and 8 million. I think him and
6.
McKenna
5 and
similar.
8.
Between 5 and 7, 6.
Between.
He said 8 in the end,
So
5 and 8.
But he could go 5 or he could go 7.
Right,
well.
Tony Jabroni.
I like
Hi, Tony.
Hi,
Got a
Tony.
question in. Will Lustig be used at centre half given the injuries for Celtic?
I wouldn't. It's an interesting one, and I have to say, Celtic have got a right back in. I have been a big fan of Lustig and the service which he's given to Celtic. Albeit, I think they're right to get this guy in. He's on the wane a bit, but he can play there, can't he? And it is an option for Brendan. I think that he was exposed against Rangers, wasn't he? Kent had the beating of him, and that's why Celtic quite rightly have made the move, albeit very late in the day, Daryl.
Celtic have 4 right backs.
Ralston's
You
injured
know what I mean?
as well.
Yeah, but you've got Ralston if he comes back. You've got Gamboa. You've got Lustig, Tolian. That's an incredible amount of right back. You'd think normally
There's a
4
reason
strikers.
Tolian's come into the club, isn't it? Because he doesn't think the others are good enough. Simple as that.
Good guess. Good way to look
That's
at it.
normally what happens.
Yeah, that's the way it works, I think, football.
Really good.
Paul Thompson, Dundee United made some
Tomo.
great signings. Could be enough to secure promotion, he says. Well, they've signed a whole new team.
Well,
Osmond Sow,
they've,
Peter Pollitt.
They've certainly made a fair few signings, and I think that it's quite clear. It's pushing the boat out to get promotion. Osmond Sow. When you think about when you think about the level that he hit with Hearts and going and playing in the Championship, I think that's a good signing. Peter Pollitt obviously hasn't set the place on fire when he went down to MK Dons, but when you look at what he was achieving in terms of the levels that he could reach at Aberdeen, it's a good gamble.
Yeah.
We watched them last Friday down at Somerset Park against Ayr. That team wasn't getting promoted. That
Well, way
team
off
was miles away from where they wanted to be and where Robbie wanted them to
Some
be.
new signings
5
involved already, though.
5 players yesterday. Mark Reynolds as well coming from Aberdeen. 5 players in one day, as well as a full team.
Good business.
Yeah,
Think they've done?
absolutely.
Were
Well,
you
Are they
expecting to
coming
come
up?
they had to.
Are they coming up?
See the important thing for Dundee United.
Maybe for the
was
playoffs.
You've got Reynolds coming in, and you've got Connolly centre halves.
Yeah.
They needed to strengthen at the back.
And they needed to centre forward.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
they've
they
strengthened
needed
the
an
Sow
seniors,
should
but
do
you
very
clearly-
well, shouldn't he, in the
I would
Championship?
imagine so. And
Okay.
Safranco
Oh,
is
you
a
should imagine so.
big one.
Like that, man.
Chris likes Safranco.
Yeah,
He only mentioned him about 400 times, I think,
He's a
last
good
week, didn't
player. He's a good player.
What do you know
Yeah.
about him?
Good player.
Murray Webster says, is there a big
Oh,
MLS game
Murray,
tonight?
where's
Ali
that?
isn't there, he said. Must be a big MLS game. He's an Atlanta fan. Is that what he said to us the other night?
I thought
Big
it's 'cause you
Atlanta
thought-
fan, he
I
said.
think it's because he thought there was a big space that Ali might fit in that big space. That's what he thought
Maybe,
about.
maybe. Here's one from Mark Jamie Hampson. Does his name ring a bell?
Who?
Mark Jamie Hampson.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, it's just because he says, Darryl, can you ask Craigs where's the Christmas jumper he promised to send me after he wore it Christmas Day?
No, you see, it wasn't Christmas Day. It was one of our Christmas shows. I didn't promise. He asked me, and I said I'd let him know.
Ah,
Not
So
going to
basically,
fall out of the details
so
like that.
basically,
The answer's no.
So basically, he's not getting it.
it's a no. It's a no.
He's not
Here
getting
now. Right, which team had the best transfer window? Scott Barrett asks. Chris?
Oh, Dundee United by the sounds of it. Daryl?
By the sound of it.
I think he's just taking on what you said in a bit of advice there.
Yeah.
It's a very tough. I think Aberdeen, Daryl, on the basis that they've staved off. They got Greg Stewart.
upset last night.
Well, they might be, but Daryl, you ask an opinion, and then it's subjective, isn't it? I think Aberdeen
Yes,
keeping
yes.
McKenna very important. Greg Stewart in
I'm going to flip to the
the
bottom.
man you wrote off Cosgrove, big player for him.
I never wrote
For,
that.
for this season, well, you did.
I read the stats once
started
when he hadn't
him.
scored.
Poor guy.
I'm going to flip to the bottom of the table. I think between Hamilton, Ackie,
You're
St
used
Mirren
to
and
that.
Dundee, I think Dundee could have had a good window. Whoever can come 10th and stay away from the playoff and the automatic relegation will certainly class the window as very good.
Michael?
Which of the Dundee players
He's got
have
Aberdeen.
excited you then?
Oh.
Which have they brought in?
Scott Wright from Aberdeen, I think, is a good one. I think Craig Curran with his physicality knows the league. Jim McIntyre knows him as
Did he
well.
score enough goals?
I think that's the problem. Well, maybe him not, but certainly bringing other
Got a
players.
few
in.
others,
He
don't they?
just-
Andrew Nelson's already scored.
Yeah, but very good goal he scored at Tynecastle as well.
That was.
I think this.
Ryan McGowan?
Yeah, he could be key.
You say Brian McGowan?
No, I said Ryan
Ryan.
McGowan.
You think he was only brought in because Andrew Davis got injured? You
Yeah.
imagine when you
well,
that.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That might have been the
I
one.
think that here we're at the home of Kilmarnock. They've had a good window. They've brought in cover at the back where Alec Bruce who can play anywhere across the back line.
But they lost Greg Stewart.
But I'm just let me finish. So they lose.
Subjective, Dan.
So they lose Greg Stewart. They've brought in Malumbu and they've brought in Miller up the top. They needed somebody at the top end to help out. You can't look at Eamon Brophy for everything. They've brought in Malumbu back to the club, so almost not a direct like for Greg Stewart, but definitely a good addition. And they've got cover at the back. I think on the whole they've strengthened. They've kept Jordan Jones as well. So yes,
Made a
they've
good
lost.
case.
Yes, they've lost Greg Stewart, but I think they've strengthened.
And they got Boyd suspended.
Just
too.
before you
That's a
spoke,
bonus.
you
That's
said
a great
That's
window.
a bonus.
you said you spoke to Chris Boyd, did you, a few days ago earlier?
Yeah,
What did he
last
say
week.
about the red?
Last week. When I said that it was a red card, he says, "Red card? Are you steaming?" I said, you will not get off with the appeal, and he went, you're probably right.
Right, final one then from
You
Scott
never
Briggs,
know.
because we're way out of time again. We're overtime, as normal. We're overtime. Who will finish second behind Celtic? Scott Briggs says.
Oh,
And
wow.
he says he's backing Killie.
Wow.
So he's gone Celtic for champions, Killie for second. What do we think? Quick thought each. Who's going to finish top and who's going to finish
Wow.
second?
Wow.
Celtic Rangers.
Celtic Rangers
Celtic
1-2.
Yep.
Chris?
Yeah.
You said Rangers for the title.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
slipped
yeah,
up,
yeah,
didn't they?
but
They
that was
slipped
last
on the
week.
way to the
That was last
way to
week.
the end of the
But
week.
changes,
you
you know,
can't
changes.
rule Rangers out, Daryl.
Oh, that's not the question. Is it, we want to know who you're ruling in.
He's a bit of
At
a
this
flip-flop,
moment,
He's a flip-flop.
at this moment in time, Celtic.
Oh, he's gone again.
Should I
He's
say
done the full
Aberdeen,
180.
Killie,
Flip-flop.
maybe Rangers.
So
Yeah.
that's your 1-2.
Maybe
You
Aberdeen.
happy with that?
Yeah.
Right.
Stephen Gerrard said he's 23 players competing for 11 places. He says that's where he wanted to be. So that's why I think it makes him stronger. That's why I'd second.
Okay. Michael?
It's a toss of the coin, really.
Yeah.
Toss of the
Good-
coin
good
stuff.
punditry.
I think that Celtic.
I know you love a prediction. You love a prediction, don't you?
God, just go. Doesn't matter. We won't hold it against you.
I would actually give it to you if you all shut up and listen.
Well,
I think that Celtic will
You can
win.
get away with that in Facebook, apparently.
Yeah, why would that on the BBC?
Just rude.
It's time up. Time
Rude.
up. Yeah, they
It's
just
just rude.
they
No,
just-
not
just
time
won't,
up.
Won't let me
Can't-
speak.
We want an answer.
Celtic, I think, will win the title, and I think Kilmarnock will come second.
Wow.
So you've actually agreed with Scott. Well, on that note,
So you heard it
Well
here,
done,
the
Scott.
1st of February, this is where we heard that.
I think we've had enough of it. Have you had enough?
There we go.
You had enough of this?
Do you want 3 and 4 as well?
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on. Can you do 12?
I think Rangers third, Aberdeen
Wow, we've
fourth.
gone for it.
Oh, Rangers, Aberdeen,
Gone
4.
for it there.
Okay.